Our media.
Welcome back. And it's definitely an inspirational afternoon with many guests that have inspiring us in many directions. One that we're going to be speaking to this afternoon is standing out as well. Lerato Manaka is helping other ex offenders. She's one also to find employment through their talents and working with their hands. And she falls part of our change makers because the Modihi Mongali Foundation has been making major differences where she is the CEO and founder. Let me tell you a little bit about the foundation. It's a non-profit organization named after the late Modihi Mongali, who was known by her community to be a community developer and a caregiver. With this organization, they tend to let her legacy live on by continuing to help empowerment of the disadvantaged. The rise of unemployment is a very serious problem, as we know, especially now with COVID-19. And recognition of women is still a struggle in South Africa. Some of these factors are reasons behind the high crime rate in the country. And on the line, I have Lerato. A very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I think it's a real pleasure having you on the show, Lerato. Having a phenomenal story. Let's pen out this journey that I find so very interesting. I'd like our viewers to understand what it's meant for you to be able to go out now and do what you're doing today. Talk to us a little bit about your journey and what happened to you, and of course the inception of the Modihi Mongali Foundation.
Okay, thank you for the platform. I was incarcerated in 2017. I was incarcerated for fraud. I frauded the company that I was working for. Unfortunately, I was in a trusted position, and what I did, I broke the trust by stealing from my employer. So that I went inside to face the consequences of my actions. Let me put it that way, because while I was inside, that's when I realized that the crime I committed not only did it affect me as an individual, but it affected my family, my employer, the whole community, South Africa's economy, you know. So upon my arrest, or rather my incarceration, I met the ladies inside. I was serving as a vice chairperson of the Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture. And I was looking after the arts and culture portfolio. That's when I met the ladies. They are so talented, my goodness. And all of them, they coming back inside because due to the pressures outside, like the stigma that we're getting from the community, we can't even find employment anyway because we are stigmatized, we are judged. We've got like this cloud hanging over our heads everywhere we're going. We've got a criminal record, so it really, really is difficult. Hence the foundation. So the foundation is there to give these women a platform to help them generate income using their God-given talent. We are a team of professionals. We were, before incarceration, we were in the industry of arts and entertainment. So it was very easy for us to bounce back to the same industry because now the ladies have got the talent, we've got the skills and the professions, so we know which doors to knock to.
Right. It's so nice because I see you creating that sync so that you guys can sync together and work out something that's going to, of course, move you forward from a sustainability point of view.
Yes, that's correct. And the whole idea is also to help the government reduce the cycle of reoffending. And to help fight poverty.
I am so impressed with that concept of yours because this is what I keep saying is that it's one thing to you go in there, you're an offender, you come out, but the scary part is that what happens is because, as you were saying, you get stigmatized, and you know those doors are not open in many directions. What happens is you literally fall back into that system.
Yes, that's true. Majority of the people that are second-time offenders, it's because of the pressures from outside. So we're trying to break that. Because I found that there was a period where we asked the president to remit our sentences. Before we did that, there was a concern that small crime people, they will always come back. Even if you release them early, they will come back. So we want to be the change makers. We want to say to the community, look, it's not everybody that wants to go back to that place. And we are trying our utmost best to not to go back, to do the right things and also to sustain our lives using our talent. Yes.
I like the idea that you look at yourself and others to say that everybody needs second chances in life, and that's what it's about. A lot of the times, people, and especially offenders, and I stand to be corrected, and this is what I'm going to ask you, is realize that they've made a mistake in their life, and that from what had happened, had changed their life for the worse. And coming out, and as you say, the struggle, having the challenge to be able to get reintegrated, it's nice to see that you yourself has created this kind of a spinal cord, and a support structure for all those others that come out there, to give them that hope that they need, that hope and that faith to say, there is somebody out there that I can turn to be able to help me with that second chance at life.
That's correct. That's how we are structuring it. And we also want to voice to the communities, our voice out to say that, prison is a community of its own. And we didn't go to prison.
Lerato, I'm gonna interrupt there, and this is what I want our viewers and our listeners to understand: is paint us a little bit of a picture of what it's like there, so people understand what you go through. Everybody thinks, oh, these people went to prison, that's it. But I think they don't understand the types of challenges you face in there and what you have to try and overcome to be able to walk out and then turn yourself into this person that you've become today.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. Number one, when you are sentenced there in court, already your dignity is going. Already you've disappointed a lot of people. You also disappointed yourself. And in my experience, a lot of people that are coming into this prisoner community, 90% of them, they're by court. They deny having done the crime due to you don't want the stigma already, But obviously, law is law, and they've dealt with such people before you, and they know a lie and the truth. Once you are convicted, the first step that the correctional services will do is they will take you for counseling, obviously, with social workers and all that, so that they take you through a journey of informing your kids or your family or your immediate family if you have not informed them. Now, obviously, during the interview process, they will ask you about the crime. When you start talking, you'll just see the social worker writing in there, still in denial. Right. By then, I didn't understand it. But 6 months into my sentence, I promise you, this is when I woke up and I said, you know what? I don't know who am I fooling. I've done this crime. I'm not going to appeal anymore. I'm not going to listen to these lawyers. I'm going to be here, do my time, suffer the consequences. These are the actions that I took. Sure. And then once you start getting into that process, you need to forgive yourself. That's the first step. And then forgive the others that you're directly affected or indirectly affected with the crime. Mind you, with the fraud, it's a lot of people that I could have affected, not knowing. Like somebody was a breadwinner. They were relying on that salary every month. But due to me committing the crime, the company suffered the financial crisis, and then it resulted to that breadwinner losing their job. You see that it's a lot of people that you affect indirectly.
That's so true. It's like a domino effect. And I mean, I think the most important people that you affect is your own family as well.
Exactly. I had 3 kids. I had to leave them outside. I had to choose that life for them to say, you're going to be away from mommy and daddy. You're going to grow up with your grandparents. It's not fair for them. So what you are inside, this is what you see as you reflect back to your life and everything. Hence, you are saying this is a second chance because initially, prison community is the only community that I know, as far as I'm concerned, that knows what it feels like to lose everything and having to start afresh again. The only people that I know that can lose everything is people that are going inside the graveyard. But now when you go to a prison community, it means it's definitely a second chance for you.
Most definitely. I so agree with you. What is it meant for you putting this thing together? You say Modihi Monkhale Foundation was, of course, she was the one that had actually a community developer and a caregiver had actually enticed you and inspired you to start this organization.
Let me tell you, Mujib Mungale is actually my name at birth.
Oh, my
So,
word. Okay, there we
yes, so
go.
I was named after this old lady, the phenomenal lady that was known by her community as a community builder. So I chose the prison community. So
But
yeah, it's actually my name at birth.
so I'm going to call you Modihi. I don't know why I need to call you Lerato
Okay.
because
It's
it's such
also
a
my other
beautiful
name,
name.
Mujehi. Yeah.
Modehi. What does Modehi mean?
It means delayed. Everything slow, delayed. As
Really?
you can hear, I speak slow. I walk slow. I'm telling you, this name has done lots of things on my life. And this organization was actually registered 2 months before my incarceration.
Right. Okay,
What
sure.
what happened is I always knew that I need to help. There's something that I must do. I want to help. I want to give back. Even though then I didn't know who am I going to give back to.
You know, they
So
say there's always a silver lining, right? Modea, do you
true.
believe in the fact that maybe this happened because you had to fulfill your purpose to make others that are in this particular situation that you found yourself in to go out there and teach them how to change their lives around?
I believe that 150%. I believe that currently at the moment, I'm indeed answering my calling to help others that are in need, you know,
Mm.
especially this community that I feel that it's been neglected. And we are trying to say that where we coming from, it's not prison, but it's a center where we went to correct our mistakes. So we are corrected. So please give us a second chance.
That's so
So
true.
this is what we're trying to say to the public and other communities out there.
Where do you see your foundation heading to? What are your aspirations for the future?
Okay. I'm intending to help fight the system because I feel the system is it's pretty unfair towards us as previously incarcerated people. Because the government is saying we are taking you there to be rehabilitated. Now, upon my release, I must still wait 10 years for this criminal record to be cleared, of
Sure.
which I feel is pretty much unfair. I understand I did wrong. However, I'm corrected now. And if you do not trust that I was not, I wasn't corrected, you weren't gonna release me. You weren't gonna. I mean, they say we are eligible for parole by when we get to half of our sentence.
Right.
So if I wasn't eligible, you weren't gonna release me early. So it means that you saw the potential that I have indeed corrected. And amongst the reason why I chose specifically arts and culture is because inside there, when we went out to perform in competitions or whatever it is, when we are honoring invitations, when we go there to the masses, we don't even wear uniforms. We are not chained up or anything like that.
Right.
So it means that the department was also trusting us that you guys are not going to escape.
Right.
And we also put our word to say that, look, we are here to represent, and indeed we've changed because I'm not going to risk and try to escape here. Then it means for the rest of my life, I must live like a bird, always be in hiding. No. So this is why I chose this specific sector because I know these people are definitely rehabilitated.
Yes, I so agree with you there. And also, you don't find yourself in that stigmatization role where people look at you for the type of potential that you have, and they appreciate that potential. That's what it's about. Would you say it's important for government and public to be for government to actually educate public about ex-offenders and make them change things around through education and awareness programs to say, we understand, but this is what we do for these people, and we do rehabilitate them, and we do change their lives for the better, and we do make them, of course, reach the word realization, where they realize that where their wrongs were and them wanting to make it right. So give them a chance. How important is it that you actually go out and create those awareness programs where you go into the public and make them understand and try and take the stigmatization away from these ex-offenders?
Yes, with our members, we currently have a drama group whereby each and every one of us are telling our stories through a play. So when we are playing, we are like telling educating the audiences that this is why the reasons behind me committing the crime.
Right.
And during my incarceration, my rehabilitation, this is how I changed. So in a way, we do make that awareness to say that when you go inside, these are the reasons, because I might not know what was the reason behind you committing the crime. So I need to walk a mile in your shoes first to understand what you went through. So we are trying to portray that. And also, we also want to make the community understand that the person that went in is definitely not the same person that's coming out.
Yes.
It's by choice. Even when you go inside, you've got two choices to make. You can either choose to obey, follow the instructions, or you can be rebellious and serve your full sentence inside. So those that came out early, I mean, when they are due for a little bit for parole, it means it went with good behavior. You know. So if you choose to be rebellious and to be a trouble person, it's okay. You serve your entire time inside. They don't have a problem with that. However, the Department of Correctional Services, yes, they are educating communities, but I feel that it's not enough. Or I feel that communities, maybe they're not ready to receive us back. I don't know. There's a gap. There's definitely a gap.
There is a gap, and this is why I say we need to actually bridge the gap. And in order to bridge the gap, of course, the only way that's going to be done is through education and awareness, where people, where these little road shows need to be done, where people, or even your organization for that matter, can go to communities and explain to them the scenarios and how it has changed for the better, so that they look at ex-offenders in a different light. I mean, I think it's become a very norm that people would look at an ex-offender and think, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want to interact with them, and let's just try and stay away, as opposed to looking at them and saying, oh dear, they've erred in some way, and I'm sure they're regretful of what they've done, and let's give them a second chance by trying to even just communicate with them as such. So I think that's what it's about. It's having to go out there and create the education and awareness, and I think that's the most important aspect of it, because we first need to look at the problem, as we said, we're having, and try to find the amicable solution to it. And I think that's one of the ways of looking at it. Is to create, and also to create, should we say, a collaboration with government to say, look, we understand that this is the situation, but of course they do should have some form of responsibility to be able to help integrate people into those communities. And this is what it's about. It's being able to build communities and build people up so that we have a better South Africa.
Yes, that's true. I agree with you.
Yeah, what message would you like to leave us with? And also before that, I want to know, have you found your purpose here? What does it mean for you every single day, knowing that you're going out there and changing the life of an ex-offender for nothing but the better?
Yeah, I would say to you, indeed, I think I've found my purpose, and I'm striving to achieve it at the current moment in time. Well, what I always say is it was going to be easy to push myself, my own agenda in terms of sustainability, but my inner being could not allow me to do that. I had to take these ladies with me. At the moment in time, we're only focusing on females because we feel that they are more oppressed as compared to your males. So the message I would like to leave to the message out there is, when you give somebody a second chance, it doesn't make you a stupid person,
of course,
but it makes you a change maker.
Oh, most definitely, without a doubt. It makes you a better person, because you yourself are starting to then open your doors to that particular person to make yourself understand their challenge. And I mean, I don't. In our religion, we are taught not to judge.
Yes, that's true. And if you open up your heart to bless others, you receive blessings in return. So we are humbly asking the community out there to please find it in our hearts, in their hearts, to forgive us for the crimes we directly or indirectly affected them with. And we also would like a second chance if they could even if it's an endorsement or something, like just say hi to us when you see us. At least we know that you recognize us and you indeed are in supporting our movement.
Yeah, most definitely. What
Mm.
message would you like to leave our listeners with? What do you think is the most important thing that they need to know?
Okay. The most important thing, especially when it comes to us, I need the listeners to understand that where we're coming from a correctional center. We've corrected our mistakes, and we don't want to go back because of the pressures from outside. So,
Mm.
as a community, we need the community to accept us back and give us a second chance, and
I
help
agree
us.
with I agree with you, and I think it's about giving them the understanding, because
Yeah,
we don't know what you've went through inside there. So
yes.
it's also having to understand that aspect of it.
Yes, indeed, and also trying to lift us up because you can't. What does the saying say about the horse that's lying down? You
Mm.
can't even kick it because it's already lying down.
Mm, mm.
So we're trying to lift ourselves. We're trying to stand up and dust off the dust, and so that we can continue embarking in the journey. However, we can't do it alone. We
Most
need
definitely.
the support from the masses out there.
Well, we indeed, from here on the team here, are quite proud of what you've done and what you are doing.
Thank
We
you.
want to commend you on it. It's not something that is easy to do. And having faith in yourself to be able to go out there and change these people's lives. And as you were saying, it's all about upliftment and
Yes,
empowerment. And this is what the show is about. And I'm hoping that this has helped make people just get a look at you in a very different light from what they did initially. I want to
um,
wish you nothing but the best going forward. You
thank
definitely have our
you.
support with what you're doing, and we do hope that you make milestones as you go along with your foundation and with yourself, of course.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me over. And thank you for the support. We really appreciate it.
Well, you're only welcome, and we hope to tap into you at some point later to see how you've penned along on your journey. Let's put it that way.
Yes, please.
All the best, my dear. You take care of yourself and do stay inspirational. You sure are one. From myself and the
Will
team, a
do.
very good afternoon, and do take care of yourself and stay safe.
Thank you. Have a lovely one too.
You too. Bye bye. Lerato Manaka definitely making a difference as far as ex offenders are concerned, finding them employment, changing their lives for the better, and making them understand that there is a life out there. She's been that spinal cord and that support structure for those people. Stay with us. We're going to have something really interesting after the break.